Welcome back to Daily Carnivore. I have another full day of eating video for you. Starting with breakfast, keeping this really simple. I am cracking 6 eggs. I'm making a portion for myself and my husband, so 3 eggs each. And then I'm going to be adding a little bit of cheese. I think by the end of the breakfast, it's maybe a 1/4 cup for each of us, so per serving. So I'm going to get that scrambled up. This probably about a tablespoon of butter, but so half a tablespoon for each of us. Getting that into the pan, and then I'm gonna just crumble up some Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage. Do bacon if you don't like to do sausage. Leave this out and just have eggs, whatever floats your boat. But I'm just browning this up really quickly, and then we'll get the eggs added in there and give it a stir. I ended up putting a little bit of extra cheese on the top of these eggs, just, I don't know, for a little extra something special, but hopefully you can tell by just my portioning, I didn't really go too heavy, too overboard with the cheese. If you're somebody that doesn't do dairy, just leave that off. And then to round it out, I have a vitamin D and my electrolyte water mix. Here's breakfast. For lunch, I decided to jazz up my normal hot link spicy sausage and go with some chicken wings that we just needed to eat up. I think this was the last that was in this bag from Costco in the freezer. So I popped those in the air fryer. I'm actually going to salt those when they come out. I think I had these at 400 degrees and I put it for 20 minutes, but I think I left it in there for maybe 15 minutes, something around there. It's been a while since I've actually made chicken wings in the air fryer, so I kind of just was winging it. No pun intended. And then I'm going to go ahead and dip the wings in some blue cheese dressing. Obviously omit this if you don't like to add dressings or you stay pretty strict carnivore. And then, as I mentioned, I've got my tried and true Louisiana hot link. I get these from Costco. This ended up doing kind of double duty for me because when I heated up the hot link, all of those spicy juices came out, and then I just tossed the chicken in those juices. So it was kind of like having hot wings as well, and then my blue cheese dipping sauce. So that worked out really nicely. And then here I am just putting a little bit of salt on those wings because they're nice and ooey and gooey, and that salt will stick to them better than if I put them in frozen with the salt on them. Here's lunch. For dinner, we are going to do pork belly in the air fryer, and this is my husband's forte here. We got this huge chunk from Costco. I think it's like $36, something like that. But this is actually going to give us 3 nights of dinner for both of us. So pretty economical. So he's just cutting this up, and then we'll get a couple of those extra slabs put back into the freezer for the other couple of nights dinner down the road. So one of these chunks will be for me and one chunk will be for my husband. You can see here, he's just cutting it up into 6. There you go, math. We'll put the extras in the freezer. I do have a what's in my fridge, what's in my freezer video coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But you'll get a little sneak peek of what we have in the freezer right there. Lots of meat. So he's mixing up a rub to put on the pork belly. Again, just do salt and pepper if you're pretty strict on your seasonings. This is just onion powder, garlic powder. He's got pepper as well. And he's putting a tiny bit of salt in this rub. But you'll see in a minute, he's going to go back in and just put salt only on the fat side of the pork belly. So I guess this is the meat side then. And he's just scoring this. And we'll get that rub put in there and massaged in there nicely, and here's what that looks like. So now he's going to address the fat side. He's going to tap off any excess liquid and then do some scoring on this side as well, but not cutting all the way through. Just you can see he's just cutting a little ways into that fat, and then he will get more salt on both of these. And our air fryer isn't that big, so we're gonna do these one at a time. So this actually will make, no, actually, let me think. We split one of these and we have the other one for leftovers. So speaking of math, I did that wrong earlier. We have a ton of pork belly. That's a lot of dinners left. Anyway, what I was saying was we can only get one of these in our air fryer at a time. And he's going to do 300 degrees for 20 minutes. And you can see he makes a little kind of foil container tray. Just, it keeps the air fryer from getting just fat everywhere in there. So he'll do 20 minutes on this temperature. And then after that 20 minutes, he's going to bump it up, I think, to 400 degrees for another 20 minutes and kind of just keep tabs on that. That's what he's doing here. So this is after the first 20 minutes. And he's just kind of getting some extra liquid and fat off of the top there. Don't worry, there will be plenty of fat left. So here's the 400 degrees, another 20 minutes. So we actually put it in for another 20 minutes, but then pulled it at this 9-minute mark. So about 50 minutes total. And here is what it's looking like. You can see a lot of that fat that's just kind of staying contained in his little foil tray. So here's the before and the after. You can really see how that cooks down. And then, so we are going to be splitting this. So a big chunk for me, a big chunk for him for dinner. And this was plenty. I was so full. I could not have eaten a whole one of these by myself. But the skin is super crispy and salty and it's moist. You can see by all the juices there. We did actually let this rest. So this is even after resting. That's just a lot of the liquid that came out. But anyway, this was delicious. Highly recommend pork belly. Get it in your rotation. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next Daily Carnivore video.